Hey everybody, this is Brandon Mason with Eastmans, and in this review today, we're going to take another look at the Browning X-Bolt 2 Speed version of Browning's rifles. And hey, while I got you here, don't forget to hit subscribe to our channel and turn on those notifications because we are just rolling out content after content after content like this in many other videos. We're not just rifle specific, we hit archery tactics, we hit archery equipment, we also hit big game tactics. We have about any kind of footage and content that you can possibly imagine. Backpacks, boots, clothing, anything that the Western hunter is looking for, we review it right here, and we also debut our episodes right here on our YouTube channel. All right, today we're taking a closer look at the Browning X-Bolt 2 Speed version of their rifle. And it's an X-Bolt 2 because this is the second rendition of the X-Bolt, the popular X-Bolt from Browning. And they made some action improvements and some little things that we're gonna go over. And this is their speed line of rifles. And as you can see, as we go through all of these features, modularity is key. And if you've watched this channel at all or read our magazines at all, you know that here at Eastmans, we are huge fans of modularity. It doesn't matter if it's our backpack, if it's our rifles, our optics, whatever it is. So that essentially modularity just means that you can customize your gear for what you want because we're all a little bit different. We all are built a little different. We have different wants and needs. And in Browning's Vari-Tech stock system that we're going to take a closer look at does exactly that. There are so many neat features. One of the features that I personally love was the grip adjustment that you could do. As you can see on the shooting bench table here that I have set out is some of the tools that Browning sends with the rifle so that you can customize this. The grip that comes on these rifles is kind of a standard sporter grip. That's what's on this particular rifle. These are both chambered in 6.5 PRC, one of my new favorite calibers. Man, I've been a diehard 30-06 guy for so many years, but I'm really digging all these new calibers that have been coming out over the last few years. And we're gonna take some shots downrange with both of these two versions with different barrel types on them in the 6.5 PRC. Now we have the X-Bolt 2 Speed with their fluted steel barrel here, and that's a 24-inch barrel. This is also a 24-inch barrel, but this is the preferred carbon barrels. And the preferred barrels have a really tightly wrapped carbon on there that really gets the most, no pun intended, bang for the buck out of that carbon to get it to do what it's supposed to do, what the claims of carbon actually are for a barrel. That's less barrel whip. That's help with not heat reduction, but heat management off of that hot barrel. I've tested various rounds through both of these rifles over the past few weeks, and I've found what both of them unanimously really love is the Precision Hunter ammo from Hornady. I got a couple of boxes sitting right here, and everybody kind of knows what that looks like with the ELDX bullet. Man, it just seems to be some of the most forgiving ammunition out there. I haven't honestly found a rifle that doesn't like it yet. And so that's what we're running in both of these barrels, and we're seeing super tight groups. So now you'll notice that both of these rifles, in addition to being able to change the type of grip, which on this 6.5 PRC, not the carbon fiber one, but the standard steel fluted barrel version, I've changed out that sporter grip from this one to the more swelled vertical grip that I've kind of grown to like. You know, like I said, I've always been a traditional, walnut stock 30-06, and those have the more traditional sporter type feel of a grip to them. But as kind of the evolution of rifle technology and stock options and precision engineering and all that continues to evolve, man, I've really fallen in love with that more vertical grip. So I went ahead and put that on here, and it is super easy to do. And again, Browning gives you the tools to do most of this. And if you need some of your more bench rest tools, it's very simple Allen wrench heads to get everything off, or Phillips screwdriver. So super simple to work on. I'm not a gunsmith, and even I can work on it. I've set up both of these rifles, extremely easy to do. Now you'll see there's a nice thicker, I think it's 1.5 inch recoil pad on the back of these rifles. That's another improvement. And these rifles really manage that recoil really well with some of the technology that's in the stock. There's also these little shims for your length of pull adjustment. That is, again, very easy to do. Anybody can do it. And also the comb height. And so Browning is nice enough to send a nice long-stemmed Allen wrench that goes in through that butt pad, and you loosen it about 25 to 30 turns, and you can adjust this up or down to fit the comb height for wherever you want that resting. That depends on your scope ring height. It depends on your comfort level. I like mine pretty low. I go with low to medium rings on my scope rings for most of my rifles, and so I kind of like that a pretty short, a pretty low comb height, and so that's the way I have these set up. They actually come set up with sort of a mid comb height on these, which we'll show you here in a second, and so you can adjust it higher or lower or whatever. It's like a little stair step system that once you have it loose, you can easily do that, and then you can put it up or down wherever you want, tighten it back up for that 25 or 30 turns, and it's just easy peasy. One of the other things I like about this Vari-Tech stock system is, again, I'm not a gunsmith, but there are things that we have fallen in love with different type of pick rail, arca rail mount rest. This one's a combo rest system that I can put on a tripod, on a bipod, various types of systems that are out there from Peak 44, and love these plates. But again, I'm not a gunsmith. I'm a little nervous about screwing a hole into the stock of my rifle, but with these removal of these two simple screws, the whole action and everything comes out. Action and barrel come out, and you will see pre-ported 3 different holes, including the one for the swing swivel stud in there, that you can drill out to put a plate wherever you want it. And so it makes it really easy for even a guy like me with very simple tools just to drill those out. The stock doesn't splinter with these rubberized grips on the front. It just goes through there like butter, and it bites into that. Now, you can, if you're not happy with the connectivity of that, Browning actually suggests that you get the proper fit nut to fit down in there so that the screws that you're putting in there will fit. But the ones that I have are more of a self-threaded type of a screw, large aggressive threads, and it just bit right into that, no problem, super easy to do. And as you can see, Browning has completed this ensemble, so to speak, with their beautiful gold trigger that they've come to be known for. As the expression goes, if the trigger's gold, the buck will fold, or whatever species you're hunting. It's kind of fun. But anyway, that trigger it's a hunting trigger, and so there is zero creep on that. And you know, there's some shooters like a little bit of trigger creep because then they can kind of tell when it's coming. But these triggers are so solid, and I don't mean solid in a bad way. They're like, you're on them, and when you squeeze, the bullet's going, man. And they come preset at 3.5 pounds. They can be adjusted all the way down to 3 pounds. And so you can kind of have some play in there for whatever your shooting style prefers. I didn't touch them at all, and I kind of like where they're at, where they came from the factory. All of this is kind of like not just a modular approach, but a minimalistic approach for Western hunters, so that you're shaving just ounces of weight here, ounces of weight there. And as we always say in all of our backpack hunting videos, ounces equals pounds and pounds equals pain. And over the past 14, 15 years, I've developed, which we featured in our magazine and stuff, kind of an ounce counting document. We call it, it's OCD, some little OCD with my pack list. And over the course of about a decade, I was able to shave 30 pounds off of my pack weight, if you can imagine such a thing, with just little ounce savings here, little ounce savings there. And when you got manufacturers like Browning that are doing it with their products, so it's one less thing that I have to worry about, it just makes life so much more enjoyable and easier. You'll notice that the speed rifles have the Browning OVIX camouflage on it, pretty universal camouflage. They've even been tricky enough to sneak in the Browning famous buckhead in there, here and there in the camouflage. I thought that was a nice touch, kind of cool. And so lastly, but not least, I want to look at, so that you can notice that both of these models, both the CF, the carbon fiber barrel version, and also they're both sporter style rifles, more, you know, shorter barrels, 24-inch barrels, in this steel fluted barrel. They both come with muzzle brakes. Now you'll notice that both of those muzzle brakes look dramatically different. So you notice that the rifle on my right, your left, is the carbon fiber barrel, and that comes with Browning's Recoil Hawg muzzle brake. The non-carbon fiber barrel comes with more of an omnidirectional muzzle brake. As you can see, it's ported in various directions, and so that one doesn't need to be timed. You simply screw it on there, you're good to go. The Recoil Hawg, on the other hand, does have to be timed, which isn't a big deal. It's engineered to have most of that blast going out the sides and to not be pushing back on the shooter. And remarkably, this is hard to believe, but when you shoot it, you will feel it. That Recoil Hawg muzzle brake will reduce your recoil by up to 76%. That's unbelievable how much that can reduce recoil. So, but for today, when we shoot them and how I've been dialing in these rifles and testing different loads, I've kind of fallen in love with suppressors, like a lot of people have. I like that they don't blow out my eardrums, and the process has gotten a little easier to get them, so on and so forth. There's a lot of good options on the market. And today, on the 6.5 PRC carbon fiber barrel, we're going to put the Banish 30 on that one, and on this, what, even though they're basically the same barrel length, this one just looks like a more compact rifle. And so I went with the Banish backcountry to put on the front of this. So we're going to screw the muzzle brakes off and we're going to put those on. But the nice thing about these rifles too is they don't just come with a muzzle brake and then you take it off, and here, if you don't want to use it in here, you have this open threaded barrel like most manufacturers, Browning included. The barrel protectors, the thread protector caps that you can put on the end of it. So, and one thing to note about the Recoil Hawg, the one right here on your left, is that it does take a little bit of, it's not an incredibly special tool, but it's a little special tool where you put in one of the ports that helps you tighten it and twist it off, because it has essentially basically like a threaded barrel cap inside of the muzzle brake that functions with the muzzle brake, and it kind of acts like, think of a set screw, where you kind of get that dialed in, and then you can tweak the timing of the outside piece that you're actually looking at of that muzzle brake. So again, extremely efficient system, really modular. I've put several boxes of shells through both of these guns. I've had none of this modularity system come loose on me. None of it has been difficult to put together, like I said initially, and it feels rock solid, but in a really lightweight way, if that makes sense. Another unique thing to the X-Bolt Speed line of rifles that you'll notice when you're mounting your scope is this is a little bit different of a scope mounting system. Browning has what they call the X-Lock system, and kind of true to their branding, their marketing, the X-Bolt, you have a 4-bolt pattern rather than just a 2-bolt pattern for the bases, and this is a base ring combo, which I really like for stability and one less thing to go wrong. But those bolt right into the top of the receiver there, and then it's in a kind of an X pattern or a 1, 2, 3, 4 pattern. And it is just, again, 2 more points of contact, very stable, less chance of anything going wrong in the field, even if by some freak thing your bases come loose, which if you're using Loctite or something else, that shouldn't happen, but you never know. Things happen in the field that you can't particularly plan for. And so we're gonna go ahead and send some rounds down range, not too far down range today. We're gonna verify my 100-yard point of aim, which I try to like to zero my rifles at about 200 yards. And so with these particular rounds, we're gonna be 1.5-inch high at 100, maybe even up to 3 inches. Again, I just got done dialing these things in. They should be pretty close, but as long as, for right now, when we're breaking in these barrels and we're dialing in our scopes, I'm really looking for groupings. I want to see bullet groups, because then it's kind of like a data on a chart. When you see like a line graph and you see a bunch of clusters, those clusters are telling me a story, and that's what I need to know. And so then we can hone in our dope and everything else to make sure that we're 100% dialed in for, you know, hunting, for target shooting, for competition, whatever you're using your firearm for. Shooting pretty good. The only thing off at all with those shots would be the shooter. It's not the rifle. Well, man, this has been a blast continuing to shoot these rifles. Again, the barrels are pretty much broken in. They're both drive and tacks. here out in the field. We're just shooting for fun at a flat steel target, and you know, we've been shooting at the range, dialing in loads, shooting them suppressed, unsuppressed, shooting steel, trying different things, trying different grips on the rifles. Again, that modularity just helps you dial it in so that you can really find the setup that fits you, that you shoot best. And so you're not really thinking about or worrying about the performance of the gun. You're just loading it and letting her rip, which builds extreme confidence during hunting season. And so thanks for coming along in this review. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on that notifications bell, and we will keep pumping out this content like we do each and every week here at Eastmans. And you know, this is like getting to bring these reviews to you is like being a kid in a candy store. You know, my whole life I've been just a gear junkie, and I'm definitely not a kid anymore, but I'm still having a blast doing it. So stay tuned for the next one.